the packages you want. Your ketchup, your hot sauce, all that shit.
When I go get coffee, they're like, how many bags of sugar? 3. They exactly give me 3.
Yeah, they don't want to waste their shit.
Fucking bitch, I'm paying for it.
You know, like the Latinos, I do it. My mom has taught me how to do it. Do you go to a restaurant and you get a shit ton of napkins? What do you do with them?
Stuff it down.
I take them home. I put them in my car.
Damn.
You have fucking napkins from all over the fucking restaurants I've eaten in my car.
Serious?
Hells yeah.
Shit.
Alright, so we're going to continue with the fight. Before we start with the fight, that's coming up next week. We could talk more about it, but I just wanted to say that since you're going to be up north with B-Ray,
Hollywood
B-Ray, you're going to be doing your special edition Rukus Boxing Cypher after the fight or during the fight?
Well, we discussed it with Hollywood B-Ray that I wanted to do a live blow-by-blow fight. But I think Hollywood B-Ray is a little shy or something. So he kind of like said, nah. So what we'll be doing, as soon as the fight ends, we'll be doing a post-fight analysis on the fight and everything we saw, the breakdown, the styles, the outcome, what's next for these fighters, everything. We're going to do a whole breakdown. If you guys loved the way we broke down Mayweather-McGregor, you guys are going to love the way we're going to break down Canelo versus Triple G. So next weekend, September 16th, as soon as the fight ends, we're going to record it, and depending how drunk I am, I'll do the editing that same Saturday, or we'll be posting it on Sunday, guys.
Well, we could, when are you leaving up north?
Saturday.
So we'll do our podcast, which is going to be our regular one, but this is going to be like a / special one because
I'll be doing my Balls Deep breakdown.
Balls Deep breakdown, and we've been normally drinking beers in our 5th episode, so Mr. Rukus and I have been clamoring, what else can we drink? So we decided to take alcohol this time. So we're gonna drink. What are you gonna take? What are you gonna bring to the table?
I don't know, man. Depends what mood I'm in. Could go whiskey, could go rum. It all depends what kind of mood I'm in that day.
Well, sometimes if you drink rum, you might end up in a park. Parked in a park.
Parked in a park?
Yeah, dude.
Parked in a park.
I don't know, bro. That's what happens when you drink rum. That's what I've heard.
Does Hollywood B-Ray know about this story?
I don't know. We could ask him. We could call him, but obviously he's busy impelling chickens.
He's a very avid park goer. He likes to go to the park.
And he does love his rum.
That's true. So, maybe when I'm out there, I'll ask Hollywood B-Ray about that.
Make sure to
what happens if you drink a lot of rum.
Make sure in full detail.
Yeah, I think he'll go into detail. Brian will go into it.
Mr. B-Ray.
He's a man of his word.
Mr. Clammy Hands.
Mr. Hollywood.
Receding hairline. Say he needs to talk about this.
Is there? He needs to address some of the issues.
Rum and parks.
Yeah, I think he's the best expert. We can go to our expert analyst on the rum and the park.
I'll probably, I don't know how big are the bottles, but I'll probably buy myself a Jaeger with this much hypnotic.
And that's much Jaeger?
This much Jaeger.
You get annoying, I swear I fucking bash your brains.
Why, bro?
You get annoying when you drink shit like that, man.
What the fuck are you talking about? I haven't drank that shit in a while.
You become Merc Boy.
Merc Boy?
That's right.
You look like Merc Boy, my friend.
It's an insult. Seriously? You want to break up the band now? What type of insults like that? That's disrespectful.
Hey, Miss Sonia's not Yoko Ono, bro.
Neither is my wife.
Okay, then.
So Merc Boy is, though.
Alright, so we're going to continue with the fight. So, here's a couple of questions I have for you. Since I'm not much of a boxing fan, I like watching it. I like people bashing each other, but you dig deeper into it. You know the history of it.
Balls deep.
You go balls deep. You get teabagged. You love all that good shit. All right.
Everything.
Here's one.
Guess up, shoot.
After the aftermath of the Conor McGregor fight, how will it fare monetarily for next week's fight?
I think that's a good question. I think the way it's going to affect it will be a perfect example tomorrow night. UFC is doing the first pay-per-view post Mayweather-McGregor. And usually UFC pay-per-views average between 500 to 600 pay-per-view buys because they fully stock their fucking card with great competition and action fights.
Great undercards?
Great undercards, decent main events. This is a decent main event, decent undercard. I think the people are not going to pay for this fight. I think a lot of people paid $100. They illegally streamed it. I think that we're going to see the effects of it. Because two things. There's something I was thinking about going into it. A lot of people criticize the August 26th, yours truly also criticized it as a spectacle. And it was a spectacle. And at the end, I talked about it for 3-4 weeks straight. I continue to talk about it. But I asked myself, why do I keep talking about this fight? It wasn't competitive. It was entertaining for as long as it lasted. The reason why a lot of people were intrigued, and the reason why this fight sold 6.5 million pay-per-views is because one reason only: promotion. The way they promoted this fight.
Yeah.
Even though the general public and the consensus boxing experts knew this was going to be a one-sided fight, the way they promoted this fight, they built this fight as this guy could possibly be the man to give this man a loss. They built it that good. Now,
you were just talking shit, and you could tell that
but they built it. They built it good. They used the WWE model. They built this fucking pay-per-view up.
Yeah.
A
little bit of drama, a little bit of soap opera shit into it.
Everything. But the lack of promotion going into UFC 205, none. You ask anybody, you ask any casual fan, they're like, UFC has a pay-per-view tomorrow night? They do. You ask any casual fans, wait, there's a boxing fight with a Mexican ginger and a Russian? No, he's from Kazakhstan, a part of the ex-Soviet,
Soviet Union.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know about this. Why? Because they're not advertising, they're not promoting. So what's the fallout of Mayweather McGregor is the fact that now every fight, whether it be MMA, whether it be boxing, now needs to be promoted in a grander scale. I think Mayweather McGregor proved one thing: you can do 7-minute videos, montage videos, vignettes. If you're a wrestling fan, you know what vignettes mean. On promoting a fight.
Yeah.
UFC did 7 minutes, and if you go on YouTube, it's called UFC Embedded. There's 7-minute promo videos on building the fight up. And if you had premium cable, you went on Showtime, you had the All Access promoting the fight. They overly promoted this fight. They were on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, Snapchat, every social media outlet to promote this fight. I have yet to see one promotional for UFC 205 tomorrow, and I see one promotional social media outlet for Canelo Triple G. So what do I think the outcome is?
Yeah.
It's not going to do that good on pay-per-view. It's a great fight. And it's a great fight, but it's not going to do good for the casual fans.
Will you consider this a boxing classic like the 80s, like you were telling me yesterday? Like the Duran Hearns and the other fighters. Which one of the other boxers?
Duran Hearns, Hagler Leonard. Basically, Hagler fought everybody. It was kind of like a tournament if you look at it. Anybody who studies boxing or lived in the 80s, it was basically a Red Robin tournament. You had Hagler Hearns, Hagler Duran, Hagler Leonard, Leonard Hearns, Leonard Duran, Duran Hearns. See, they were bouncing each other's off. It was they were called the Four Horsemen of the 80s because all these fuckers just fought each other.
Yeah.
But their big fights were all in middleweight. So this fight's taking place in middleweight. Is it going to be in that stratosphere as one of the great middleweight fights like in the 80s? Maybe. We don't know. I don't know. I have yet to study tapes on these guys yet or give my expert analyst, which I'll do next week.
Yeah.
But we don't know. They're advertising. The promoter, De La Hoya, Mr. Lingerie, is promoting this fight as this is the best fight.
He's probably on coke, bro.
He's probably on coke. He's promoting it as this is going to be a war. This is going to be this. This is going to be the next Hagler Hearns.
If it's
not, I mean, we don't know.
If it's considered a war, like Mr. Oscar wearing
define war.
Those fucking whatever the fuck he was wearing in those pictures, lingerie. Do you think one of them? They're different age difference.
Yeah.
Who do you think's gonna leave it all in the ring?
I think both, but it depends. Every fight you leave something in the ring.
Yeah, you leave a little bit of yourself.
I think this is the type of fight I'm a little bit swayed towards. I don't think it's gonna be a war, but I think it's gonna be a very high intense tightrope type fight in which I think a lot of fighters are gonna leave something in the ring. Who is it going to affect more? I think Triple G. Triple G's 34, going into being 35 years old. He has a little bit of wear and tear. He's kind of a used car, certified Honda.
We were talking about yesterday.
He has his miles in.
Yeah.
And Canelo Alvarez is just, he's straight out of the lot. Hasn't been in that many wars. No amateur background. He's learning on the job and learning great, I might add. But I think whoever's going to have the more wear and tear is probably Triple G.
Do you think, what was that Triple G fight where the other boxer, he really stepped up to Triple G game and gave him a run for his money?
There's two fighters. One was an English fighter, Kell Brook, who got his eye socket torn.
Yeah. What was the other one?
Danny Jacobs, the guy who had cancer, the Miracle Man.
Yeah, do you think...
This is the thing. A I'll give a little bit of expert opinion here. A little bit. The one style that's given Genetic enough problems have been boxers who move and bring the fight straight to you.
Yeah.
They're fighters that give you that angle. That, you know, they're not straightforward at you. Canelo in recent fights has been kind of straightforward in the pocket and has kind of tailor-made this Mayweather style into his own style, hybrid style, where he shoulder rolls, he hips and moves. He does everything in the pocket and waits for that perfect counter punch. That's tailor-made for Genetic Enough, and you're straight in front of me.
Yeah.
So I can see where De La Hoya says it's going to be a war, but I just think it's going to be both fighters jockeying for that position to land that significant punch. And I'll go further balls deep into it next week.
Yeah, when you're boxing Cypher.
Or even before, I mean, I'll give my expert opinion because the weigh-in's going to be Friday. So I'll
like we did,
I'll give my game plan.
Fight, then you watch it first.
I'll give my game plan.
And then you'll let me know what's going on, and we'll rewatch it while we're talking.
And you can tell me what you think, and who looks weight drained, and who looks like they struggle to make weight.
Well, last time you could tell who the fuck was dry as fuck.
And I fucking called that one.
Thirsty
and I called that motherfucker out. But yeah, that's my thing. The after effects of that spectacle fight and how this is going to affect this fight and any combat sport from now on. That's how it's going to be affected.
Well, hopefully, and we could keep on talking about it more next week.
Again?
Because since it's already next week, like I said, that Conor McGregor Mayweather fight really did something to the boxing, the world, where people were talking about this one, but then this one came up and it's already here, but there was people talking about it. I'm sure like that Skip Bayless videos you were showing me, that motherfucker, I think everybody that listens to sports, whatever sport it is, this piece of shit is hated thoroughly.
He doesn't know shit.
Then why the fuck is he on?
Because he says things. I mean, I could say outrageous things.
Yeah.
And
then we could be on ESPN talking shit just to get a pop off.
Yeah. He just says exaggerating shit. Doesn't know boxing. I can go on forever on that piece of shit. I'd rather not give him the publicity. But
it is true.
What was I saying? This is what upsets me. People talk about. I'll dip on this real quick, and this is a little thought I just had. What upsets me is that people say boxing is dead. It's not dead. It's been alive for 100 plus years. It's still going to be alive. The advertising of boxing is dead because it's very sad that only time ESPN, Fox Sports only talk about boxing is when you go and talk about Floyd Mayweather. Where's the promotion for this fight? I haven't heard ESPN. I haven't heard Fox Sports talk about this fight.
I have.
If you go to their website, if you go to ESPN.com/boxing, you go to the boxing forum, they talk about it. But I don't see headlines on ESPN.com about this fight. If this is supposed to be an exciting fight,
big fight, yeah, exactly.
Promote it. If Skip Bayless is I'm using air quotes, a boxing fan who's been following boxing since the Ali era, then pump this fucking fight. If you hate Mayweather so much, if you don't want Mayweather to represent boxing, then promote this fucking fight. And the thing, tomorrow, another fight's happening. I think it's in Carson, I think. Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, 108.
I was about to tell you about that fight.
The 118-pound former world champion is going to get a rematch.
The rematch on the part 2.
They're fighting. Nobody fucking knows about that. I didn't even know about that. I didn't even know about that. B-Ray told me, Dave, who's your pick? I'm like, what the fuck? Who's fighting? Chocolatito, what the fuck?
I have the ESPN app and it throws me like news. I know he was going to fight, and I was about to tell you about Chocolatito and my twin that's fighting in Carson that we're probably going to go see that fight.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Leo Santa Cruz?
That's the Cruz. Like,
I'm training in his gym too.
Are you?
Yeah.
These are fighters that are up and coming and they look good.
No promotion.
But there's no promotion.
There's nothing.
Like, what the fuck is that?
You can blame the promoter. You can blame the networks.
But
you can blame it. The blame can go anywhere.
These are fighters that are up and coming that should bring the boxing to that era that it was before. Like I said, like I've told you, I remember when there were big fights and it was like an event. It was like the Super Bowl. Parents would get together, buy beer,
even the neighbor you didn't like came over.
Even that motherfucker didn't like, he would still be watching the fight. But it was an event. You watch the promotions and you watch the commercials and be like, hey, look at this fight, pay-per-view coming up, so-and-so fighter. But now it's like, where's the promotion? Where is that, not bravado, but where is that you want to see, like, fuck yeah, this fight's coming up, I'm going to go see that shit with the family.
Promotion.
It's just not there anymore.
We'll dip into example. Earlier you were talking about that one soccer player that wants to leave Liverpool to go to Barcelona for bigger money. Boxing has become, and it's always, boxing, they're prize fighters. Keyword, prize. What's the prize? Not that fucking belt.